And we'll get started. Welcome, everybody, to Applied AI in College Classrooms. My name is Ronald Lethko, and I'm part of the Teaching and Learning Center at Clover Park Technical College. Over the next 24 sessions, we're going to talk about AI and how we can use it responsibly, ethically, and effectively. I'm going to drop the link to the course in the chat, and I'm also going to start sharing my screen so you all can see what I see. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen though, so hold on. Do that again. I'm also trying to juggle letting people in at the same time. Okay, great. So I'll put this link in the chat to the course. This course is mainly geared towards faculty who teach at the college level, obviously college classrooms, but it's open to anybody and everybody who wants to join. And it's here for our Clover Park Technical College faculty, but I've also opened it up to anybody else who would like to join. So I see some people in here from different colleges, and special shout out to Alyssa Sells from the State Board, Community and Technical Colleges. Thanks for taking the time to be here.
Thanks, Ronald.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, Alyssa. This is a comprehensive 48-hour professional development program that will equip higher education faculty with foundational AI literacy and practical skills for thoughtful integration of generative AI tools in teaching and learning. We're going to use something called the Learn framework, which is something that we put together here in the Teaching and Learning Center when we were creating a course called Learn AI, which is actually a certificate program that we offer while this course is geared towards faculty at the college level. That course it's actually a certificate program that is geared toward anybody who would like AI literacy skills. And the way that the Learn framework works, scoop ahead a little bit, it starts with listening. And so that's where we're going to meet every week at 3 p.m. To talk with each other about AI. I'll introduce a topic and then give some context around that. But I like to think of this less as you're listening to me ramble on about AI, and more of we listen to each other. So as I progress through the topics, I'm going to open it up to you all to give your take on it, because I'm not an expert in AI. I've used it a lot. I'm part of a lot of different teams that talk about it, and we talk about it at conferences. But it's always changing. I learn new things all the time, and so I'm sure there's things that you all know that I don't know, and so I want it to be less of a lecture style and more of a conversation, I would say, for the listen portion. The explore stage, I will be going through. I've set up some exercises so that we can practice using the tools. A lot of it is going to be just an LLM of your choice. I'll probably be using ChatGPT. Today, we're going to be using ChatGPT and Claude, but choose whatever LLM you prefer. Those are the ones that I use the most. So those are the ones that I'm going to be giving an example of today. And then, so those two parts of Learn are going to be synchronous. Those are the ones that we'll be here together and talking about and working through. the time might shift. I envision 30 minutes where we're kind of talking about the topic and then 30 minutes to explore. Um, I think at the end of the explore, I'll also have some time. Maybe it's 25 minutes and then 5 minutes of going over what the next state steps will be for you all. And then that's the last part of learn. So the apply stage, that 20 minutes plus or minus to take what we did in the explore stage and then do it on your own. So we'll do it together on in the meeting, and then you can work on it on your own. Uh, there will be a reflection aspect. Good day, Jody. A reflection. We'll have a journal, and so if you're in the course, you can see on the homepage there's a link to a journal, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But you're going to kind of think about the process and your experience going through and testing these tools. The last part of learn is N, which stands for network. I think it's important to talk about this with other people. There's a lot of really great resources out there and people out there that are talking about AI. And so if you share what your experience are, maybe you can connect with other people and talk about that experience with them. And so that's the goal of the network section. It says LinkedIn group sharing. If you don't have LinkedIn or you're not very active on that site, we can just keep it in the discussion board in this Canvas course. But LinkedIn is a pretty nice site for connecting with other people and like-minded individuals. And so that's the Learn framework. As I said, it's a 48-hour, I'm going to say commitment. You don't have to do the whole thing. You can kind of pick and choose what you're interested in. But if you're interested in doing the 48 hours of pedagogy is the requirement at our college per year if you're interested in incrementing. So 48 in pedagogy and then 48 in whatever else you would like to do related to professional development. There's 12 modules, and there are, like I said, the 24 sessions. If you scroll down here, you can see a list of all the modules, and we tried to align them with the skill standards. If you're familiar with that at all, in Washington State, we have the skill standards that are, at least at our school, are important for attaining certifications. And so you can put that down when you're filling out your prior approvals to take the course. There's a list of the skill standards and how many hours you can get for each of those. All of these are hyperlinked. So if you click on the module 1, it will take you right to module 1. If you click on session 1, it will take you to the introduction page of session 1. And then there's a little brief explanation of what will be covered in that session according to the Learn framework. So I'm not going to go into too much more about that. Y'all are free to go in and explore and find things in the course. I will head over to the modules page now, where you can see that we have the Welcome to the Applied AI. There's some course goals. I think I can maybe talk about these ones a little bit. This course is designed to help you thoughtfully integrate AI into your teaching practice while maintaining academic integrity, equity, and student engagement. And whether you want to explore a single AI tool, redesign an assignment, or reimagine your teaching philosophy, this space is built for you. Here are our course goals. And then there are some participation guidelines. As I said, we're going to meet Fridays at 3 p.m. And if you're in the course, you'll have the Zoom here. And if you're on LinkedIn, I also made an event, and we'll make one for each week. So you can join the Zoom that way. Um, Kat in the chat says we need to request PDU and get prior approval beforehand. Yes, you should at least fill out the prior approval form and send it to your dean just so that they are aware that you're in here taking it. Um, and then the later steps of, completing it and uh, adding it to our tracking course, that'll come much later, and we'll talk about that. The Zoom link is going to be the same each week, so that should make it a little bit easy for you to join. Also, I'll just click this Zoom over here, and you can see the meeting ID is the same, and then you're just going to click join there. So for whatever day it is, but it doesn't really matter because the link's the same. Here are all the dates that we will be meeting. And it is the same link we're using now. Sorry, I'm trying to also do the chat here. I wasn't able to make it at the end because it's. Kat, you want to hop off and explain that one real quick?
Yeah, for the PDU for the new PDU process, if is there an outline or a link I can follow or anything that just
Oh,
kind of
yeah, sure. That's a good opportunity for me to bring up our LibGuide page. You can find information about, well, you can find a link to this course here on the LibGuide page. There are links here to access the course. If you want like specifics, like what we're going to be covering each week, and how they align to the skill standards and college-wide learning outcomes. You can find those there in the crosswalk. But if you scroll down past that, the instructions are here, Kat. So,
perfect. Thank you so much. Perfect, perfect.
and Kristen's let me know that the date's not right. Oh, yeah. Huh. I wonder how that happened. Jeff was also having that problem. There are actually 6 more dates that aren't here that by the time you're watching this recording, they should be there. We have 4 days in April, the 4 Fridays, and then the first 2 Fridays of May. So those should be there at the end. This course is badged. There are badges for each of the sessions. Each badge is worth 2 hours. That'll be the hour that we're spending here today, and then the hour for the applying the knowledge, reflecting, and then networking. You'll get the badge as soon as you submit to the network page. Yeah, the network page. The network page is a discussion, and so you can, like I said, post your reflection directly to the discussion, or if you're going to use LinkedIn, you can post a link to your post in LinkedIn. Yeah. The link to the LibGuide. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and put that one into the chat right now. That one, if you want to find it later on, is CPTC. If you just search CPTC TLC LibGuide, it should come up. There is a portfolio aspect to this course, and so the reflection journal, you can just simply use that as the portfolio where you're keeping all the stuff together. And if you're interested in making it look nice as opposed to just having it as a Google Doc, you can use whatever portfolio platform you like. Canvas has a portfolio embedded in. The stuff that you're posting on LinkedIn or any other platform of your choice. That's going to be a great resource for you um, for your teaching, your program reviews. If you have to show anybody the work that you're working on, that'll be a great artifact to show them. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts. If I go to the next page here, this is a little bit of information about me. Y'all can read that. It's got my LinkedIn here, so if you'd like to connect with me, I can go ahead and throw that in the chat. Um, since we'll be doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, you can connect and we'll be able to see each other's post. There's also a LinkedIn group that I created that you can access when you go into the network page or network discussion. This is in the modules, the link to the reflection journal. So if you click on that, it will open up with this. And you can see here it says request edit access. Uh, this is a view only doc. And so um, uh, I'll answer your question in a second, Kelly. If you go here to file and then make a copy, as long as you're logged into Google, you should be able to make a copy. Uh, I'll I was meaning to add a doc version of it, but I guess I didn't it fell off my radar. So I'll add a Microsoft Word file of this document, and so you can go in if you don't have Google Docs, you can go in and work on it that way. You can see on the left hand side, this is where all of the sessions are, and so everything's kind of already been filled out. I used generative AI, full transparency, to help put these together in this format. And so you don't have to answer all the reflection questions. Just spend about 20 minutes thinking about your experience and working through these, and just take out whatever you don't have time to reflect on. Kelly.
I'm sorry. So once we do this, where do we submit that? Is it in Canvas, or did you say you want it in the chat, or
Yeah, so
LinkedIn? I'm
if
not
you
really
look,
sure. I'm
sure.
sorry.
So, and then to answer your other question that you put in the chat, I would recommend making a new portfolio. Just start fresh
Okay.
with new class. Um, so if you go to so we have the reflection here in the network. It's the network. It's a discussion board.
Okay.
You're going to put in uh, your, like I said, either your post to LinkedIn, or if you just want to put it into Canvas, you can just submit it down here. And
Cool.
then this is where you get the credit for the work that you did. So,
Awesome.
and then
Thank you.
once you submit that, you'll get the badge once I review it. So, all right. Um, Let me see if there's anything else in the opening one. There's a discussion board here for introductions. So if you want to introduce yourself and what you do, you can click on that. Let me see what else. It's who you are, what do you teach, how long you've been teaching, um, something about you that will help us remember you. So just kind of like a fun fact, and then your LinkedIn profile if you have one. So you can see already that Shelly's in there. Very nice. Nizar, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Ronald. I have a question. If one of us is teaching in more than one college, and I know this course is designed by CPTC, so if you teach in another college, can you get a credit also, uh, you know, in from the other college for taking this class, or just like with
So
CPTC,
I'm
Clover
not
Park?
familiar with how the other colleges run their professional development. That sounds like a question that you would ask your dean to see. Uh, I mean, we can provide the training and we can provide the credential at the end, but I don't know how that will work. But
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. At our college, the standard procedure is get the prior approval, do as much as you can, and then when you're done with it, submit the that form plus any proof of work that you've done, and then you'll get the credit from your dean. Okay, there's a lot of questions here, which is great. It's, like I said, in the learn stage here, or the listen stage, lots of back and forth is encouraged. Jen says, is this only available to faculty or staff at your institution? No, it's not. It's available to anybody and anybody who's interested. So, if you would like to submit to Canvas and get the badges, get the micro credentials, um, send me your email address, your one that you use to get onto Canvas. I'll make sure to get you into the Canvas course. I have to manually add them or manually add you. If you are a Clover Park Technical College faculty, you can self-enroll here, but that is only for people at the college. So, Jen, if you'd like, you can send me you can DM me or like send a private message, and I'll make sure to get you in there. So, and anybody else who is interested in it. So, all right, I opened up a huge amount of tabs, and I'm now lost. So, let me figure out where I'm at. I know this. I say huge amount, but I know that some people in here have many more tabs open than me, but I can't have too many open. Otherwise I lose myself. I'm gonna close out of these. And I'm going to go into our introduction. So this is our session one. Actually, wait, let me pause real quick. I know there were a lot of questions, and if you weren't able to have your questions answered, um, I'm looking at some people. There's some people in here that I know have like 100 tabs open right now. No shade, by the way. If y'all can make that work, that's great. I just not my style. Um, I'm not going to name any names. It's you and more. So uh, session. Oh, questions? Any questions? I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page here. Please put them in the chat. Keep putting them in the chat. I've got my chat over here in another window, so I'll try to answer them as they come up. Session one. This is module one. Is foundations in AI and education. A lot of this stuff you'll probably already know, especially if you've messed around with AI and have you know looked into it, done a little bit of research, or um, gone to some conference talk on it or something. But I think it's good to start at that base level. So our session goal here today, I want you all to we want to build a clear shared understanding of what AI is, how it works, and where it intersects with higher education practice. We're going to look at some foundational AI concepts, and then we're going to have that hands-on interaction in the explore and apply stage with two different large language models. We're going to compare the capabilities and limitations of each, and then we're going to do the reflection. Our outcomes for this specific session is to define AI, machine learning, and large language models. And we're going to try to use accessible terms to talk about that. And then we're going to identify examples of AI in everyday life in your own teaching practice. Hopefully we can have a discussion about that. We're going to look at ChatGPT and Claude today to discover some key strengths and limitations And then you're going to use the weekly journal to document your insights. And then, like I said, contribute and post to LinkedIn or the discussion board here. What we'll need is access to ChatGPT and or Claude or any other LLM, large language model that you are familiar with, or maybe one that you're interested in. Like maybe you keep seeing, try Gemini, Google keeps pushing out Gemini, or at our college, we are a Microsoft campus, and maybe you've been meaning to test out Copilot. Um, any two, we want to use two because we're going to kind of compare them in the explore stage. And so pick two. Chat. If you just go to chat.com, you don't need to make an account. You should be able to access it directly. I'm not sure about the other ones though. I think Google, you probably have to be logged into your Google account. Same with Copilot. I think Claude, you might have to have an account. So if that's a barrier for you, either you can try a different option or just stick with ChatGPT. There's the weekly reflection journal, which we talked about, and hopefully you all have access to that. Here, a willingness to experiment with different prompts. So a willingness to try. I think all of y'all are here. The course is called Applied AI. And so I hope y'all are willing to try and apply. And then optional, a LinkedIn account if you want to share and engage with peers from this course and beyond. So, all right, I created a little presentation for this listen section. Our overview here for this stage, we've kind of gone over this again. I'm not going to go over this because we've already talked about it a couple of times. I will say that at the beginning of the structure is going to be pretty similar each session, and that's by design. I know I did use chat to help me out with some of putting this course together, but as a teaching pedagogy practice of mine, I like to keep things pretty similar so that the students know what's coming next. And so if it looks like repetitive, that was on purpose. So here next week, this week I had to talk about the course, but next week we can look at maybe some emerging stories, maybe something that you read, maybe something that you tried. If anybody has any, like maybe they did the apply from the previous week and you want to talk about some of the things that you discovered, that would be a good time at the beginning of our meeting next week to talk about. I have a quick video here since we're talking about the basics here of defining AI. I've got a video that is very quick. It's only a couple minutes. And so I'm going to play this for you all. And this is kind of just to get that baseline understanding, very high overview of what generative AI. Some of y'all might already know most of what this is saying, but I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So I'm going to start playing this.
What exactly is generative AI?
Can everybody hear that? Okay, cool. So Jen nod, thank you. All right, so I'm going to play this one. I'm going to put on the closed captions for the people who would like to read, and I'm going to stop talking.
When new content is created by artificial intelligence, it's called generative AI. This could involve generating texts and images, as well as videos, music, or voices. To do this, you describe in a chat dialog box what you want the AI to create. This description is called a prompt. The generative AI tools provide answers to all sorts of questions, summarize complex information, and generate diverse ideas quickly. Depending on how they're used, they can create short stories, paintings, pieces of code, or even musical compositions. The foundation for this creation lies in large amounts of data that the AI system accesses to identify patterns and similarities. The content produced by the AI is new. It's often impressive and challenging to distinguish from things humans have made. Generative AI can also be misused. In so-called deepfakes, AI is utilized to produce images or videos that seem real. AI-generated texts are also tough to recognize as machine-made. Moreover, the AI can provide answers that sound correct but are actually incorrect. This is called hallucinating. The quality of what's created depends on both the quality of the data used and the quality of the prompts given. To effectively utilize generative AI, we need to learn how to guide the tools with meaningful prompts and use them thoughtfully. Generative AI holds immense potential and can help us in many ways, such as serving as a writing or learning partner. However, the AI should do the hard work, and humans should be responsible for the facts.
Ronald, you're muted.
Thank you very much. AI-campus.org is a great resource. That's what I was just saying. If you're looking for resources related to generative AI. I like that video because, it kind of gives that basic overview, but then also it talks about some of the problems because while this is a new tool that everybody's talking about, there still are a lot of problems that should be addressed, and should be talked about and considered when using it in the classroom and beyond. We will talk about that in the next module, so module 2 in a couple weeks. But just know that I'm sure a lot of you know that there are some problems related to it. So, but there's also a lot of benefits that you can get from it, and I hope that in this course you can find the benefits and then keep the problems also at the forefront when you're working with it. Okay, so if you scroll down, there's some quick notes here on AI, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this. This is called the Gamma. We're not gonna. I think we might cover this later on in the course, but we're not gonna cover it anytime soon. If you want to get around and try Gamma out, basically what I did was I took all the text from that page, tossed it into Gamma, and it created this presentation for me. This is relatively untouched, so we used to have a Gamma account, and I could use it freely, but now they have credits, and so I don't want to use a lot of credits, so I didn't make many adjustments to this. So keep that in mind. So Applied AI, this is our course. We already talked about what we're trying to do in this session today. This is the week in AI. All right, let's get into what is AI. And so everybody knows or should know, AI stands for artificial intelligence, and simply put, this is computer systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. So human intelligence from a human, artificial from a computer. Machine learning, maybe you'll hear that term tossed around. Machine learning is AI systems that improve through experience and data exposure. So in that video, when you saw all the information that was being fed in, that's kind of how the AIs that we use get trained. And actually, is James in here? I know James Shoemate was in charge of putting together our first course in the Learn AI, and he has he might have a better explanation here on some of these things. James, do you have anything to add about machine learning?
So one thing that I've noticed is there's a lot of overlap. For example, machine learning is a very broad category where large language models are a form of machine learning, basically looking for statistical patterns to predict that something else or something new or upcoming in a sequence. And so generative AI, they're all kind of flow downstream from artificial intelligence to machine learning to language models to generative AI, basically all the way down to the tool that you use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think maybe this slide didn't do it justice. I know James he created one where it's like a big, I don't know if you can get that up, James. Um, but it has like a big circle and it's got AI and then machine learning and then LLMs. You'll hear me say LLMs a lot. That's something like ChatGPT is a large language model. It's an AI that's been trained on vast text data sets to understand and generate human-like text. Is kind of similar to I like to think of when you're typing into Google and it tries to predict the next word as you're typing it in. It's kind of like that. It just does it automatically. And then it generates something. This is generative AI part of it. So AI that creates new content, text, images, code, audio, video. One of the big drops this week was Sora 2, and that is a video generative AI for video created by ChatGPT and OpenAI. And some of the videos that it creates are just so realistic that it's going to be difficult in the future to think about what's really happening in a video or what's generated by AI. The teaching
Just
connection here.
something really quick on
Oh
the
yeah, go
side.
ahead, Jay.
No problem. It's just the like a large language model is specifically for language, and when it comes to generating images and 3D graphics and video, they use something called a diffusion model, and where it's basically it's kind of predicting what pixel goes next to what pixel as opposed to what word goes next to one word. So there's kind of two different processes happening, creating the language you use and the pictures you use. Sorry.
No, that's great. Thank you. And anybody else that has anything else to add, please feel free to hop off mute or raise your hand. Kelly in the chat saying, saves, sorts data, and searches for it quickly while learning faster ways to do so. It picks it apart pixel by pixel. That sounds like a tongue twister. The teaching connection here, think of AI as a highly sophisticated research assistant. So just kind of dumb it down. It's read millions of documents, but it doesn't have human judgment. It doesn't have the experience of being a human. And it also is pretty poor at understanding things contextually, and especially of your students' needs. And so that's where something called prompt engineering, which I think will probably be on the next week's definitions. They talked about it a little bit in the video. Prompt is what you give to the generative AI. It's what you ask for. And so this just comes into my brain. Garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have a good prompt, actually, no, I think we'll cover prompt engineering after ethics. So maybe in November, we'll get into prompt engineering a little bit more detail. But that's the way that you interact, the conversations that you have with generative AI. So that's AI in a nutshell. How it works in an educational context. So the way that the machine learning works is it's trained on copious amounts of data. Sometimes it has really good examples. Sometimes the examples that it's trained on are biased. I believe that it was trained like some of what ChatGPT was trained on was I think 4chan or Reddit or like one of those sites that are not very scholarly. And my colleague Jeff Kane always brings up that it was trained off of thousands of documents from Enron, which is not the most ethical company if you remember what they went through in the early 2000s. The pattern recognition, so it spots the trends in language, the same way that you might notice like a student voice. It's got a certain voice. Some people are starting to recognize that voice. Uh, I have got many emails and messages that are very different from like if I'm talking to somebody and they're writing something to me, it just doesn't sound like them. I think is the problem that I'm kind of recognizing in some of the things that I get, and so being aware of that I think is important. Um, Probabilistic responses. AI doesn't give facts; it guesses. So I always say in my talks when I'm talking about it is that AI uh, gives you what you think it what sorry AI gives you what it thinks you want to hear. And so like if you're asking for I don't know an example, but depending I think I watched somebody like depending on the way that it asked a question was something like why uh, are bananas good for you would be one way to ask. And then it will say, it'll give you, oh, hopefully it'll give you like, there's great things, there's bad things. Um, but if you ask like, why are bananas bad for you? Then it's gonna focus on that type of response. It's gonna give you all the negatives for bananas. So and then one thing that's important to remember is it has a context window. There's only so much that you can put in. It only remembers um, a limited stretch of conversation. Uh, think of like a goldfish memory, but with the good grammar. So it's very um, and also it's not really memory. It's like based on what was put in, it will reference that. But it's important to not humanize AI, and something we'll talk about more in the ethical section, but it is a computer program essentially. And so it is not human, which kind of goes into our next, in the next slide, we'll do some AI myths and bust some myths here, but some more about how it fits into teaching. Some of the ways that you can use AI is to draft quiz questions or summaries. Is really good at doing that. And especially there's a tool called Notebook LM that we'll talk about later that you can just put in a text and it'll come up with all kinds of teaching resources. It can give you quick feedback on writing. So if you're writing an email and you're like, you know, polish this up a bit, as long as your voice is there in the creation, and then your voice is there after the creation. I think is one important thing. But it could give good feedback on writing, translating or simplifying materials for accessibility. So if you have documents that are very difficult to understand, it can kind of break that down. And if you have students who are that struggle with English, it can also be used to help translate. I found that it works much better than Google Translate, though I haven't tried it recently. I know that Google has their own AI, and so um, maybe they're maybe they're using that to improve it. Um, and then this is, I would say, by far the most that I use it. I have an idea. I give it to AI to see if it can kind of expand on that idea. I take it in, oh, I like that, expand on that more, and you can use it to help you kind of flesh out some ideas. Um, I want to go around the room. We don't have a lot of time, but I just want to hear if anybody in here uses AI other than what's on this list. Maybe drop it in the chat, or if you want to hop off mute and tell us how you use AI as a faculty. David in the chat. Hey, David. Helped me tremendously with my employee evaluation. Was that, can you expand on that?
Well, I figured since HR is using it for creating the job descriptions, it was easy to try and help with creating the responses for some of the input that was needed to guide you towards reminding you things that you did during the year and to put them into a readable manner.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
and so it's like I essentially the prompt I was using was act as a dean at a college of higher education, and the employee evaluation responses, and then just kind of like put what the prompt was and then what I was thinking it should be, and to create it more
Oh,
clearly. So
nice. Okay.
because I'm awful with bullet points,
Yeah.
I'm a
I
rambler.
Yeah, I have thought you were joking. I thought you were it's like you were evaluating employees, but yeah, to the way that you explained it seems like a good use of it. Dean in the chat says that uses it to help create rubrics. I mean, how long does it take to do a rubric by hand? It's you really got to think about all the different ways that you would want to grade somebody. And so it creates it in 30 seconds and definitely needs some. We always stress human in the loop. Make sure you go in and double check the output because you never know what it might hallucinate. But yeah, definitely to get you going on some rubrics. Kelly, I see your hand.
Yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting to hit the unmute button.
No worries.
Um, I use it. I've used it to help generate procedures or processes. For example, setting up software, configuring it. But I usually walk my students through it, and I'll tell them if you want to try like a newer version of the software. I did this the other day. You know, go ahead, and what they're doing is they're jumping on ChatGPT or one of the other sites, and then they're searching for the process to install this particular application in Linux or to set it up. But what it does is it may not always be right. So
Mm,
now they have to go figure out what's wrong with it, which causes a learning opportunity. So they will then correct it, get it working, document it, and then submit it to me.
yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty
I mean,
good. That's
yeah.
actually what we'll cover later in this course about how looking at the output is a lesson in itself, and being able to spot some of the hallucinations or especially if something's procedural, you got to follow those steps. Um,
Well, what happened was the instructions that they got from ChatGPT told them to go to a specific folder directory path and to find this configuration file, and then it told them how to edit it. But what ChatGPT didn't know was that file was moved to another place, in the operating system. So my
mm,
students all I knew who used it because they were all emailing me. and saying the file's gone. What do I do? And I knew immediately, oh, use ChatGPT to get the process
Yeah.
to do this. So yeah, so I had him point it in the right direction and then uh correct the instructions, so to speak, and then submit them to me. And
Nice.
then I give
So
them
they
little
had to learn how
points.
to do it the right way.
Correct. Correct.
Nice. All right. Um, okay, and there's a lot of great examples in the chat, so please open up the chat and check some of those out. I'm going to move on for the sake of time here. I'm always up against the clock, it seems. Some capabilities, some of the really good things that it's good at is generating content fast. As we said, it knows a lot of different languages. It works 24/7 without office hours, and we'll cover in this course about how to create a GPT that will be a resource for your student that if they can't get a hold of you for the fact that it's 1 a.m. in the morning, they can have a resource that can help them get through any problems that they're having, and then helps to spot patterns in student work. Okay, so you can see kind of how students are using it, like the example that Kelly was saying. Some of the kryptonite, some of the bad things that it's not so good at. Sometimes it makes up things, and it does it very confidently. Like I think when it was first, maybe 2023 is when we started like really experimenting with it and working with it. And at that time, um, it would really push that, some of the things that it would make up, it would say, this is real. You could trust me. But now I think it's getting a little bit better at, I'm not sure about that, or hypothetically, this, and this. Stuck with old data if it's not connected to the web. I mean, most of the time people are going to be using the web, but if you're setting up, I remember when chat was first around, it didn't have access to the internet. It was, they updated the training model every couple of weeks or couple of months, and so you would see like this data is, or the information in chat is from September 1st. Like that's the newest data that it has. No empathy or awareness of student needs. And so that's where, you can come in and hopefully as a instructor, add in some of that, uh, some of those considerations. And then there is bias that's baked into the training data, which we talked about briefly, but we'll cover it in more depth in 2 weeks. Is our ethics. So, okay, so here's some very quick myths versus realities. I know a lot of people are worried that AI is going to replace you as a teacher. At right now, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but it can take care of repetitive chores, repetitive tasks. But still, an instructor is going to be needed for the students, um, at least for now. I think everybody's safe. It still takes an instructor to instruct and lead the students. AI is always right. Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody thinks that, but hopefully, hopefully y'all don't think that. I like the analogy to an overeager intern. Um, it's smart and it'll sound smart, but always double checking. I see in the chat, Jody says reviewing the output is critical. This is true. Always keeping the human in the loop. You'll hear me say that throughout this course. AI understands meaning. It's a master guesser, not a thinker. It doesn't understand anything. It's not human. It sounds human when you interact with it, but it's really just, like I said, guessing what it thinks you want to hear. All right, so some key takeaways here for higher education. We can use AI as an assistant, but not as a replacement. It'll help you out, but it can't do everything yet. Um, Always fact check and keep your professional judgment front and center. And then be open with students about when and how you're using AI. I read an article or maybe a LinkedIn post recently where they were talking about how you, as faculty, a lot of people, a lot of faculty, say don't use it at all. Um, I have my thoughts on that. I think instruction needs to evolve, and that's one of the main goals of this course here is to help you to evolve the instruction to include considerations for AI, but uh, also giving them, letting them know when you're using it because it's a bit of a double standard if you're prohibiting it in your class, but then you're using it to grade assignments or something like that. So um, remember that policy, equity, and privacy are as much part of the conversation as the technology, and we'll definitely dive into that more in the next couple weeks. So that is the listen stage that is supposed to be the we're supposed to come up on the 30-minute mark for that. So we're running a little bit behind today, but I wanted to make sure I answered all your questions related to the course at the beginning. There are some further readings here. They are not required, but if you are interested in, I kind of gave you all the brief, very broad strokes. Um, Not every week is going to be like this. I just want to try to there's a lot to unpack in the first week related to that. But um, in the following weeks, it'll be much more specific stuff. There are some great articles here from respectable universities. There's also there's the EduCause article here is really nice, especially talking about the future. So thinking about the future and it's related to AI. This Stanford HAI or HI is a human-centered AI, I believe. And this is a really great read here. It's taking a while to load up, but you can find this index report here or watch the video to get a little bit more information from Stanford and how they're working with AI. I'm guessing we're not going to have the time to get into this explore. So normally I will be walking through this with you, and I'm going to do this because I want to make sure that y'all can y'all can y'all know what it is. So I'm gonna stick around. I know it's where I am, it's 4 p.m. And so I know if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be much later. Feel free to hop off if you don't want to stick around, because I know this is only scheduled for an hour. But I'm going to go through this. I'm going to stay on and record it for the people who want to see it. Feel free to stay or go. I'll take a minute here to let people know. The next couple pages, I think they're pretty self-explanatory. The apply, the reflect, and network. If you do have some problems with those pages, please reach out to me. You can message me in Canvas, or you can email me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and write my email on the screen, and then I'll also write it in the chat for y'all. Oh, thank you, Kat. I'll fix that as well. This is my email. I'll make sure to add anybody who was in here who's not from our college. I'll make sure to add you all after I get done with this. And for the people who are not in the course or not in the chat right now, that's my email address on the screen. So thank you all for coming. If you're here for the hour. Thank you, James. And if you do want to hang out, I'm going to go through this Explore right now. Thanks for coming, Jody. Thanks, Taylor. All right, so for the Explore, those that are sticking around, real quick, Jen, I love your photo with all the chickens. Are those yours?
Yes, they were. I no longer have them, unfortunately, but
Oh.
but someday I will have them again. So
So cute. Thanks for coming.
thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so so what we're going to do for the Explore stage, this is the hands-on part. This is actually where we're going to actually get in and start using the tools. This one we're going to do a couple of experiments. So this is applied AI. I think it's important to get in there and start using the tools. And so the tools that, like I said, I'm going to use are ChatGPT and Claude, but Claude, if you want to use something else, feel free. So I have the links here. If you just I'm using a mouse to middle click to open them up. I've got my ChatGPT. I think I'm logged into mine, and then I'm also logged into my Claude. I am lucky enough to be a part of an organization that supports a paid version of chat, so the responses might be a little different. I think I might actually, just for this experiment, hop into a one that I'm not logged into, because actually I might do all three, just to see, to show y'all what the differences are between the paid and not paid versions. I'm curious about Claude. Like I said, I think you need to have an account if you want to use Claude. Yeah, it's going to make you continue with Google. So once again, if you don't want to give Claude your email address, then you don't have to. You can just use ChatGPT or Copilot. I think if I'm signed into my browser and I go to Copilot, then I think it should automatically log me in. I'll keep that one up there too. And then if you have a notebook or you know, a document, so you can record what your observations. It's not necessary, but it's always good to write some stuff down. I'm opening them in different tabs here, like I said, so I can kind of compare. Click on that. And then pro tip for this course, if it's got a block quote, then that's something that y'all are going to copy. That's good. It's going to be a copyable prompt. So if I scroll down here and see this is the this little line over here, that means something to copy and paste into chat. Okay. All right. So our first exercise experiment, we're going to verify some content that chat will create, the large language model will create. So imagine that you're preparing a lecture and you want to verify some facts. There's some examples here. If you're going to ask a question, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to think about a question and type it in. There's some examples if you're STEM or humanities or business. I'm going to choose, let's see here, it's a little too topical. I'm going to choose something that I know. I guess I'll just go with this STEM one here. Is talking about the second law of thermodynamics. I don't know if we have anybody left that's into STEM. I'm interested if y'all what your prompts, if you're still here and you're participating, what prompts you would choose based on if you're teaching. Actually, Debbie's still here. I know Debbie teaches early childcare. What's a good question that we could ask chat that you could like quickly verify related to early childcare education?
I'm teaching leadership the order. And one thing that came to mind, what is the difference between leadership and management?
The difference between leadership and you cut out a bit. Was that the question that you said?
Oh,
Leadership and
leadership.
management?
Yes, that is it. Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
And it applies to leadership and management at any workplace.
Oh, yeah, let's go. I like it. I like that because then everybody can kind of see. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that one in to these different large language models and also the not paid version of ChatGPT. I'm going to put these ones side by side so I can kind of see what they come up with. Okay, so I'm just going to read very quickly. Mm. So I don't have time to go through everything, but it does look like these two are pretty similar. The way that it displayed it is different, but it looks like the messaging is pretty similar. Okay.
I would agree.
Let's bring in Claude. Claude. I never know how to say Claude. Okay, Claude says leadership management are distinct but complementary functions. Oh, this one just gives the strict bullet points. Team systems. This is very readable for me.
But it works.
Yeah. And I like that it added this this extra part here at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at this. In the how does it know that? Working at a technical college, it must have the history turned on. Uh, department chairs versus academic leaders. Ooh. But at our institution, department chairs, we say the department the deans. So wording's a little bit different. And then Copilot. Oh, look at Copilot here with the table.
Oh.
Oh, nobody told me Copilot's good now. Uh, leadership focusing on vision, inspiration, change. I actually like this one the best. This is what I'm trying to do with the comparisons of these different large language models.
I like it too because it really is distinctly shows the differences and you can just see them side by side.
Boom, boom. Compare and
Easier to
contrast.
teach that way, less wordy.
I agree. I agree. I think these are two, like I got stuck here just like line by line. And I mean, it depends on everybody's method of learning. You know, maybe if you love reading, this style is going to be best for you. But actually, I'm going to give the win here to Copilot just on the way that it presented it. I don't know if this is all like I would once again have to go through and really double check with my knowledge on the topic. But and it even gives a Harvard Business School defines leadership, while management is about getting the confused, misguiding, unmotivated, and misdirected to accomplish the And then it gives a link to the article. Look at that. Leadership versus management. What's the difference?
That's nice.
That is nice. Okay.
Now you don't need to have a subscription to Copilot. I know it's on our Word.
That's a
I
good
think.
question. Let me see if I'm logged in. Oh, I don't even think I'm logged in because it says here
Huh.
create an account. I'm not signed in. So that was one without even being signed in. All right.
Wow.
Well,
I learned something just now with that. That's nice. It's got some resources for us
there we go.
that,
There we
that
go.
you could use. Yeah.
All right. Remember that when you're writing your reflection, okay?
Okay.
So here we go. Evaluating the response. Is the information accurate from my expertise and my very quick overview? It looked pretty good. Um, Complexity level appropriate for the student level, or is the complexity appropriate for the student level? I feel
Yes.
like this one has so many big words. There was one that the
Mm.
tension and balance between the two matter. It's very verbose, it seems. If I were to compare it to the Copilot, which I think I lost it. Did I lose it? See if it'll do it again.
Mm.
One thing that's important to know for those who aren't in LLMs all the time is the responses most of the time are going to be different. This one added in
Oh.
a an article from Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then here it's got the citations here. I agree with Debbie. I think if I were to use this with my students, I would want to give it to them in this table format as opposed to just reading the text. Would you trust this information
Mm-hmm.
Ron, I
without
wonder if you could
verification?
Ron.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Ron, I wonder if you could grab that table and then say make sure that this table is accessible, and see how well that copies. If it creates a
That's a
better
great
table
idea.
that you could easily copy and paste, just out of curiosity.
It's great. That's what we're here for. I call this the explore stage, but it's actually the experimentation stage. Um, okay. I mean, it didn't add in borders, but where are my borders at? Table design. Uh, it's not border. No, how do I just make borders here? Oh no, I'm trapped. Okay, here we go. Okay. It says here accessibility, good to go.
Well, we're going to trust Microsoft.
That's a Microsoft in Microsoft, so okay.
Yeah, I mean that's good to know that that'll paste over that way well.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Point one Microsoft. Good. Um, obviously take the time to go through maybe more than 3 minutes, but just for the sake of time, test the same in both tools. That's what we did. And then some observation questions we would want to think about which tool provided more accurate information. Once again, maybe you'll take the time to go over it. How confident would you be using this content directly in class? That's where I kind of think about maybe I won't just directly take it from here and copy and paste it in. I think the human oversight is important. And what additional verification would you need? Well, I don't know. I like that in this one they've got the links here, so you can verify it right there in the result and look at what
Also
that
verify
part.
it. I have a master's in leadership, and I can also verify it through theorists that came up with this originally, the
Nice,
differences.
nice. There you go. And so that's bringing your expertise. And I feel like maybe I didn't say it earlier, but I should have. When people are worried about being replaced by AI, it's that knowledge and that experience that you have. Um, the AI doesn't have that, and so that's one advantage that you're going to have into the future is all the knowledge that you have. Um, Okay, so experiment number two, creative and pedagogical applications. We're going to try to think about how to make an innovative assignment here. We want an engaging assignment that connects course concepts to current events. This one here, it's got, this is for anybody to use. We're going to request the assignment idea. We're going to use the prompt template and we're going to adjust it a bit. So I'm going to come back here and type in, actually, I'm gonna get a new chat because I don't want to use the same chat. It's going to start to overlap ideas. Somebody give me a course that you teach. Maybe Elaine or Derek. Haley's in here. Haley teaches College 102. See if we can do that one. College 102 to undergrad students. Create 3 creative assignment ideas that connect core course concepts to current events or popular culture. What core course concepts do we need? Haley, are you there? I need a concept, something you talk about in College 102. She might be out. What do they cover in College 102? How to be a good student. Connect. How about good study habits? Do current events or popular culture. Each assignment should be feasible to complete in 2 to 3 hours. So anybody who's watching this later on, feel free to put in whatever your course, some sort of topic that you teach in your course. The TikTok study hacks, truth or trend? Students research 3 to 4 trending study hacks from TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram. They select one to test in a short session of their own studying. Well, that's kind of cool. This seems like a good idea. You should type in study hacks and then write what the hack is, try it, and then make a reflection analyzing the hack. It says when students practice note-taking strategies by working with current news. Note-taking strategies. It's pretty nice. I would say you have to really know about those, like Cornell notes or mind mapping. Maybe that's something that they cover in that class. Study habits behind the music or sports. Students connect effective study habits to how athletes or musicians prepare. Oh, I like that one. You pick their, a lot of athletes use like vision. Is it visioning? I can't remember what it's called, but they try to vision success. And so it's deliberate rehearsal, rest and recovery. Okay. I think I'm gonna wrap this up because I know it's already well over time. But continue with that if you're still here. Continue. Follow the instructions. The instructions are pretty clear here. So you can do one experiment or all 3. I would recommend focusing on the apply page here because this is where you're going to, in the reflection, you're going to talk about what you did in Explore, what we all did together in Explore, but then also more specifically what you did in Apply. So yeah, hopefully next time we'll be able to have better time management, but I always try to cram too much on the first day. So thank you all for sticking around here to the end. Oh, David, let's talk about that. Can you if you're able to attend next week, can you talk to us about the comment browser? Because that's a big thing. That's a big thing in the news these days, especially the AI hype.
Yeah, it seems it's kind of nice. I'm not running into any like quotas or anything like that. It just works. So
don't give them your bank account, David.
Nope. I do that. None of that. It's only used for prompt questions. It gets no access to any of my accounts.
Perfect. Great. All right. Well, thanks for showing up, David. I appreciate you. Alyssa, thank you too. Haley, Derek, Debbie, thanks for sticking around to the end. And I hope to see y'all next week. Bye-bye.